Do you feel that? The cold.
Your master has deceived you into believing you can become a Jedi.
Blow stuff up.
Aim for the walkers.
Our fighters to pursue.
That will be unnecessary.
All right, you guys. So, you know, I've been wanting to show you guys what I use, what characters I use, the size of the character, the vehicles, all of the items that I use in my dioramas. I wanted to actually show you guys what I have been using in them, and I always forget. So this time I remembered. So we're going to go over basically the figures that I use here in this diorama. Now, I am short on stormtroopers. I actually only have 3 in the 3 1/4 scale, and one of them happens to be the Kanan disguise stormtrooper. So I always use him as an additional stormtrooper. So there he is. Kanan actually played 2 different characters in this diorama, and then you have the rest of the 3.75 Rebels figures here. And then I used a couple of different Darth Vaders here, 2 3 1/4 scale Vaders. The Vader with the chain around his neck there, the 3 1/4 Vader with the chain. That Vader is the one that actually comes with the Imperial shuttle, and he is a fully articulated Vader. So that's one of the reasons why I used him. And then the other 3 1/4 Vader, I used him, as you guys can see, because he has the actual animated Rebels Vader look. So that is why I used him. And then of course the 6-inch Vader there is the black box, Black Series Vader. This is the one with the removable helmet that has Anakin's head exposed. So I used that one as well for my up close shots that require articulation. And then of course in those shots I also used the 6-inch Kanan for the same reasons. And then I thought it would be real cool to get a shot of the interactive Rebels Vader and Kanan Jarrus. These are I think they're called dueling figures, and I purchased these a little while ago, and one of the things I really like about the Rebels version of Vader, he's basically based off of the concept art for the character for Vader. So I really dig the design, and that's one of the reasons why I picked up this particular Vader, because there is no articulation with these guys, these 2 large guys. I think they're about 12-inch figures. Yeah, I think they're about 12 inches there. So I use those guys just for posing purposes in this diorama. And then of course, as I had mentioned, for our vehicles, we're going to start off with the Imperial shuttle, one of my favorite vehicles in my collection, and it's just an awesome vehicle. Now obviously the shuttle that is depicted in the Rebels in this particular episode of Rebels that we recreated here, I believe it's a different style of shuttle where the ramp and cargo is loaded in the back. This one is obviously Vader's shuttle, and the ramp is to the front. So that's why I had to do the makeshift ramp on it using cardboard. And then I just used the Star Destroyer in the distance just for scenery. Same with the smaller ships that you guys see in the background. You see there's Vader's ship, there is another TIE, a smaller AT-ST, then a couple of miniature figures. Those are Micro Machine miniatures and figures that I use again for scenery purposes. This obviously is the AT-ACT, which is actually not accurate for this particular time period. And I do actually have another 6-inch AT-ST, but it's unopened, and I didn't want to open it for the purposes of this diorama. So I used my AT-ACT to fill in the additional legs for the scene. And then in the back there, is actually a first order tie. That is actually well, besides my 6-inch first order tie that I have, that is the largest scale tie that I have. Again, I just used it for scenery purposes, and then of course you see the smaller ties there. There is another version of Vader's ship. Those ships, actually, the smaller ties and Vader's ship, and even and I forget the name of this tie right here. Gosh, I forget the name. The Scarab tie is what I'm going to call it, but I know that's not the official name. Those 5 ships right there are Hot Wheels ships. Those came from the Hot Wheels. And then the other smaller ones those 2 smaller ones came from another set that I have, a Death Star set that I have. And if you guys are familiar with the channel, you know what set I'm talking about. So there it is, guys. Those are all of the items that I used. All of the figures, all of the ships, all of the crafts that were used in this diorama. But guys, I want to thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and may the Force be with you always.